Hello Instagram, how are we? We are just half an hour away from tonight's NXT UK, and in anticipation of that, I'm very pleased to be joined tonight by the Irish ace Jordan Devlin. Let's get Mr. Devlin on here and see how he is. He was saying earlier, this is the first time WWE have given him the opportunity to talk since the NXT Cruiserweight title tournament began. So it's going to be interesting to see what Mr. Devlin has to say. And here he is. Welcome, the Irish ace, Jordan Devlin. How are you?
Oh, good, Andy. Good to see you.
Well, first things first, how are you? How are you holding up during this crazy time?
I'm good. I'm surprisingly good. You know, I had a pretty hectic schedule before this all happened, so it's been nice to have a little bit of time off to let my body heal up a little bit. So
yeah, that's what I think a lot of people have been saying, that this time, you know, although you're out of the ring, actually, you know, you guys go so hard and you're working all the time that this is actually might help you recover from some niggling injuries you may have.
Yeah, this is a little bit like wrestling's first ever off season for some of us.
And how are you keeping ready? Because we'll get into this in a moment, but when things do get back to more like normal, you got a lot on your plate. How are you staying ready throughout this time?
My gym, I'm lucky enough that I have a good relationship with people that run my gym, so they've let me some equipment to have in the house. I got myself a bike, so I go long distance cycling up in the Dublin mountains and stuff like that for my cardio. So I'm keeping fit. I'm in the best shape I've ever been.
So the vascularity will still be there when we see you back inside the square circle.
You will see all 6 abs next time I'm on.
Good. Look, let's cut right to the chase, though. Since we last saw you in action, NXT has started this NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament to crown, well, you know, a new champion. Let's take this piece by piece. How did you find out about it, and how did you feel when you found out this tournament was taking place?
I found out about it via text from William Regal. He told me what the plans were going forward, and I was very honest on Twitter, voicing my my reactions to it. I felt like it was the wrong decision. I felt disrespected by it. I still do. I'm confused with how any of these guys in the tournament, guys who I respect as fellow athletes, can look themselves in the mirror now if they win a fake title.
How closely have you been following the tournament? You know, we're a couple of weeks deep into it now. Have you been following it? Is anyone standing out for you?
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye on it. Obviously, you've guys like Kushida and Tozawa who are off to a flyer. And then there's obviously the more kind of emotionally driven stories like Drake Maverick that you know, everyone's pulling for him now. It's some good television, but irrelevant for me.
Who would you like to go up against? Obviously, you've got to think that whoever wins this tournament, as soon as you can travel, there'll be a match between you and that person. Who would you like to step inside the squared circle with? Who's in that tournament?
One of my dream matches when they first signed with WWE was Kushida. He's done everything there is to do as a junior heavyweight outside of WWE. He's starting to pick up a bit of momentum now in WWE, and I think it'll be a good clash, to the best cruiserweights in the world. And if it was to unify the cruiserweight title, that'd be something that I'd like to do.
How did it feel for you? Because you've worked so hard to get where you are, to get that title around your waist. How did it feel when you heard that, in essence, they're kind of taking it away from you?
Yeah, it was a bit good. And it was like, you know, getting put on the sidelines with an injury or something. And I know it's, you know, made easier in the fact that, you know, a lot of the world are going through this at once, but there's not a lot of people in the world that had the momentum I had, and this happened to me. I was probably one of the busier guys on the entire WWE roster, flying back and forth across the Atlantic every other week and defending the title on 3 brands. So it was a good shot for sure. And
has this made you hungrier then? As soon as this tournament got announced, has it got you even more driven to get back in there and well, build that momentum again?
Yeah, it's made me angry, to be honest with you, because now when I'm coming back, I'm not just coming back to prove to the fans who I am, and I am as good as I say I am. Now I'm coming for the heads of every single one of those guys that disrespected me by even entering that tournament.
Well, let's talk about this week's NXT UK, because this episode, we've been doing these specials as of late that have gone down really well. And this week, some of the NXT UK superstars are picking some of their favourite and most influential matches. Now, you feature in one of those matches tonight, you versus the Bomber Dave Mastiff. Do you recall the match? And what's it like to step inside the ring against 322 pounds of Black Country Bomber?
Yeah, you have to think on your feet. You have to kind of rely on your speed and your quickness when you're in there with Dave, and try not to let him get a hold of you, because when he does, he's like a grizzly bear. What I remember from the match was that I was thinking about the whole time, how am I going to lift him in the air to do the devil inside, and I think I found a very creative way at the end to put him away.
Well, I can't wait to see that match. Also, another match that's going to feature tonight is AJ Lee versus Paige. And it's a big moment for Paige. I'll let you all tune in and see what happens. But do you recall that match when you were kind of coming through and growing up? And what did it do for you as a talent from, well, across here in Europe, to see someone going over to the States and achieving so much? What did that do for you?
Yeah, it's very inspirational. You see someone from our neck of the woods going over to the States and making a name for themselves. You know, it's a few years ago, it was very, very rare that someone from England or Ireland would make it over. You talking about one maybe every 5-6 years. So to see Paige go over and achieve all she did as quickly as she did, it must have been really inspirational for all the girls in the roster. And then it was also inspirational for me. You know, like, she walked a path that I'm on now. She laid the foundation for us. Yeah,
look, what a path you've ridden as well. Look, we first saw you as part of WWE in the first United Kingdom Championship tournament, and the momentum you built, the career you've built for yourself, the strides you've taken since January 2017. When you look back and see what you've accomplished in those years, have you given yourself the opportunity to look back and sort of assess where you got to?
Yeah, well, this time in quarantine and in isolation has given me a lot of time to, pump the brakes and reflect back. I'm pretty open with how I felt coming out of the first tournament in Blackpool, how I was probably the only member of the roster that didn't have very many positive emotions when I thought about the Emperor's Ballroom. I was really disappointed with my performance over the weekend, that first weekend. Maybe I wasn't ready for it, or maybe the emotion, the occasion got to me. But I came away from it angry and motivated, and I just swore that I was going to prove every single person that doubted me wrong. I was going to be the wrestler I thought I could be, and I was going to try and match up to, the statement that guys like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate made that weekend.
Can you single out a few points or a few things you've done to help get your way well? Because let's be completely honest, you are one of the standout success stories of NXT UK. What you've done, including winning the Cruiserweight Championship, you've done so much, and it all began with that tournament and getting to where you are now. Yeah,
I think it's just stick-to-itiveness and not giving up when you get a really, really hard blow to your ego. I think anger and embarrassment can be a very negative thing, or that you can use it as a positive, and it can be a very powerful motivator as well. So going from that weekend into going forward with WWE, I made sure that I was going to be the hardest worker in the room. I was going to be the first person on the mat, the last person to leave, and that kind of what you see now manifested itself from 18 months of really hard graft.
When you did that first tournament and you walked away, as you say, feeling somewhat disappointed, could you have envisioned where we are now? Of course, it took a little while. It didn't happen instantaneously, but NXT UK did launch, and it's grown into, let's be honest, the fastest growing and one of the most exciting brands in WWE.
Yeah. We were told in the earliest days of, it was WWE UK at the time, you're on the ground floor of something special. We don't quite know where we're going with this, what it's going to be. It's going to be good. So just hold tight and we'll get there. And we didn't know what that meant. And to see what it's become now is unbelievable. And the roster we've assembled is some of the best UK talent. The takeovers that we've put on, I think, can compete with cards anywhere in the world from any promotion. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do in the next couple of years.
How does it feel for you, and being part of that locker room, to be, as you said, at the ground floor or something? you're the superstars who are building this brand. Has this lockdown given you a chance to kind of, as you say, pump the brakes and look at what you've been part of building?
Yeah, well, I just think when we deal with guys like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and William Regal, who come over here and give us their time and their expertise and their knowledge, how much respect that we all have for them. And if it got to the stage where the superstars that we have now could pass that on in a few years to the next brand or the next generation coming up, I think that'd be amazing.
What for you makes NXT UK different? What makes it, one of the must-watch brands?
I think it's a very close-knit locker room. A lot of us would have travelled up and down the country in England wrestling in front of 20, 25, 30 people for many, many years until WWE took notice of what we were doing and the crowds we start pulling in. And because we all grew a scene together, a thriving scene together, and have now all landed our dream jobs at the same time, everyone's hungry now that we want to see how far we can push this, how far we can get and what we can achieve. So as competitive as we all are with each other, we still do have a lot of camaraderie, and we know that we want to build the brand as a whole. What's
it like for you as a talent to be conversing, as you say, with Triple H, with Shawn Michaels, with William Regal, with all the producers and the guys that come over? How does it feel for you to be, working with them?
It was, I wouldn't say daunting. It was amazing at the start. It was like, you trying really hard not to fangirl out when Shawn Michaels is talking or whatever. But as time has gone on, we've gotten cooler now and we can just have a regular conversation. It's just, there's no way that you couldn't become a better wrestler sitting under these guys' learning tree, if they're giving you tips or, a bit of advice or feedback or, just anything to help you up your game, that it's coming from a place of extreme knowledge. And these guys have done everything there is to do in the wrestling business. And, they've been there, done that. So you can take it with good faith that it's coming from a good source. So they're just an invaluable source of knowledge.
How much can you put your current success down to, directly working with the likes of Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, he is a big part to play in it. When he first came out to the media, to the press, and said that I was the one to watch in the brand, that gave me a huge boost and a huge, take of confidence. And I realised that the work that I was putting in wasn't going unnoticed, and just I was going on the right path and just keep going. So that kind of springboarded me into the Cruiserweight title picture so suddenly as worlds collide, and then I just kept running as hard as I could.
Before we go, I just want to bring up one thing that we've noticed as of late. Obviously, the tournament that got launched was for the interim Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah. The word interim has seemed to got lost in recent weeks. How do you feel about, I don't know who did that, but seemingly the powers that be seeing that whoever wins this tournament basically gets the title?
Well, I'm going to find out who's forgetting to put in interim Cruiserweight Championship when in all these social media posts, and I'm going to have words for sure. Every time I hear it or see it, I'm going to remind people. Not that they need reminding, because I think that everyone the world over knows who the real Cruiserweight Champion is. And as long as I am a Cruiserweight Champion in this company, I'll demand respect.
Well, Mr. Devlin, thank you for joining us. Everyone can catch your work tonight on the WWE Network on NXT UK. It's a stellar match between you and Mr. Bomber Dave Mastiff, so can't wait for that. Thank you for your time, and Jordan, stay safe, stay healthy, and I can't wait to see you back inside the squared circle when we can all get back there.
You too, Andy.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
So don't forget, you can watch NXT UK on the WWE Network from 8 o'clock UK time. That's 3 o'clock Eastern time. Would love to see you there. It's a great show. For me, Andy Shepherd, great to see you. Thank you. Good night.